Welcome to QE Food Store podcast. In this new edition, we have a very special guest, Christiana from Christiana Co. She makes these beautiful, healthy cheese bread. Have you heard about healthy cheese bread? These are gluten-free and something to die for. Please welcome Christina to our podcast at QE Food Store. How are you, Christina?
I'm really good. Thanks for having me.
How have you been today?
I'm really good, really good. I'm very grateful to be here and to have the opportunity to display our cheese bread.
Absolutely. Oh, look, we look forward to hearing from you all about your healthy cheese bread. I never heard something like healthy cheese bread and gluten-free.
That's right. So I've created the business with the mission to promote a positive impact to consumers.
Yep.
And the way I managed to do that was making something that's super healthy, using only premium ingredients, gluten-free, and also a product that gives you versatility, convenience, and sustainability.
Wow. So many things to dive into.
Yes.
That's good. And it is also a gluten-free and no preservatives.
So yes, we only use premium, healthy, natural ingredients, the same ingredients that you would have in your pantry.
Yeah.
Free from additives, preservatives, cheese flavors, modified tapioca, which is really common in gluten-free.
Yeah.
So my focus is to promote a product that has the same quality of food made at home.
Yep.
But with, ready in a counter for you to just grab and go home without hassle.
Yep. And how did you come up with this idea of cheese bread?
So cheese bread is a very is the favorite Brazilian snack in Brazil.
All right.
So I'm Brazilian. I've been in Australia for 17 years, and obviously it's something that's a big part of my life. So when I do parties for my children, I normally make some Brazilian beautiful specialties.
Yep.
I come from the food industry, so it's always beautiful food. And when making a couple of parties, I've made the cheese bread, and I've noticed that the cheese bread didn't get to the backyard because all the people in the room would be grabbing the cheese bread as it was transiting to the kids.
Wow.
And so I've realized that I had a business. And also looking at them, I started investigating the market and realized that it's really rare to find a bite-sized healthy snack.
Yep.
So I started investigating, the avenues and found out that cheese bread was my perfect case.
Yeah. I think you can find tasty bread, but not gluten-free with no preservatives. And so basically you started this business, you were having a party, you invited people over and you made these Brazilian cheese bread at home, and they barely could make it to the backyard because people enjoyed them so much and so tasty.
Yeah.
And healthy, gluten-free and no preservatives. We just tried one earlier, but yes, we'll try more here.
Exactly. So I started looking at the market and also observing what other cheese bread were in the market.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to buy the existing brands because they have a very different purpose with additives, preservatives, modified tapioca.
Yeah.
I'm a food engineer, so I understand about these processing aids, and I prefer to have a very healthy, clean diet. And then found out that we could actually have a very good differentiation in the marketplace.
Yep.
And could really solve the problem of convenience to people who are time deprived and families working, parents working with people who love food and they don't want to compromise with quality.
Yeah. And you're a food engineer, so you've always been a foodie.
Yes, I've been always a foodie.
Yeah.
I've worked in big industries in Brazil. I've done research in Norway. I've worked with unpasteurized cheeses in England. So I've worked from big industry to really specialty artisan industries. And it was how I actually gravitated to really premium produce ingredients, which also highlighted what I had at home.
Yep. Is that what you've done in Australia since you've been here for the last 17 years?
Yeah.
Been in a food business?
Yeah. I've worked with cheese and when I first arrived in Australia, and I worked with quality assurance and safety, quality control. And then I stopped for a bit to prioritize my children.
Yep.
And when I was ready to get back to work, I was really thirsty to have my own business. And I decided to do something which would make my children proud of me. I've got two beautiful boys. And they are, in fact, very proud because our mission is to promote a positive impact to consumers.
How old are your kids?
12 and 14.
Oh, beautiful. And how do you balance running a business and raising two kids?
They're actually my biggest supporters.
Okay.
So they love, when I do tastings at QE shops, my eldest always asks if he can join me, or sometimes he joins me. And your manager, your team is amazing because they're always like, oh, how cool that the kids are joining.
Yeah, well.
And but sometimes it's hard, but I really love my work, so they understand that and respect it.
So I share that view. It's very hard to do it without the family support.
Exactly.
If you got that family support and kids joining you on doing tastings in store, that's it's a good start for them.
Yes, and they're very proud of the business because nowadays it's really hard also to find manufacturers who embrace sustainability and people who really focus on prioritizing community, minimizing waste. So they're really proud of the work we did with our packaging, for example, which is a compact packaging full of product inside. So when you buy, you come with 13 bowls of frozen cheese bread, which is fully utilized in terms of packaging space instead of having a big packaging on the counter, which is half empty. So with this act we generate is also plastic free. So with a baggy side that's home compostable and biodegradable, certified by the Australian Association. And so with that, we generate less waste at consumer homes. We minimize our environmental impact. And we also, with the complex packaging, people don't realize you're saving transport. There's a lot of work on the back of the house in manufacturing that help us to minimize waste. So my kids absolutely love it. And their kids love it because it's an unlimited supply of cheese bread at home.
Excellent. Look, that's great to hear that your product is also sustainable, 100% recyclable, and you have those initiatives built into your business to take care of the environment, lower impact. And that's perfectly in line with what we do at QE Foodstores. So we actually prioritize suppliers with the compostable packaging and eco-friendly initiatives over those that don't.
Exactly. You can have a massive impact in the industry, and if everybody does that, and then have a conscious work with sustainability, we can really promote a positive impact to the community, as well as providing quality and convenience. We can minimize a lot of hurdles that cause a lot of problems for all of us, right?
Absolutely. So how long have you been in business, Christiana?
I've been in business for 7 years.
Wow.
The beginning of the business was actually very different to what it is now. So I used to be focused on hospitality and fully servicing restaurants.
Okay.
But with COVID, everything changed. And I found myself, I didn't have a retail line. And I found myself, once we had the lockdown in Sydney, I found myself with almost 1 ton of cheese bread in a freezer. And our factory was inside a beautiful ice cream factory at the time. So I looked at the factory owner and I said, how about we set up a delivery business to deliver cheese bread and ice cream to people? So I quickly start investigating, the packaging format, and sustainability was a non-negotiable for me from the start. And then we've launched the first retail line, and from there, I've never looked back. And to say that nowadays the business is solely focused on retail, and we're just slowly going back to introduce school canteens and hospitality.
So was it tough during COVID years, business as a result of mainly being in a restaurant industry, hospitality, 100% of your business?
Yes, it was literally 100% of my revenue just went down, and I was like, okay, how do we do this? And then also you have all the, your workers and people who you take care of. So it was a very difficult time, but it was quite inspiring because the opportunity was there to launch the retail line. And I must say, QE was you guys were a really, really fantastic with the support that you gave to our brand, because it was a very new brand in the market. And with the fact that your shops have such a prime offer so different to what you find in other places was absolutely amazing for us, and a very, a key factor that helped us to move forward in getting market share.
Well, that's great to hear, because we pride ourselves on, supporting local producers, giving a go, because that's how I started to. And we have so many small producers that, just started in our stores. And I think we were your first retailer.
Yes, we were actually one of the first.
One of the first.
Yeah.
And your product's available in all of our stores.
Yes, exactly. It's ranged in all the QE shops. And the interesting thing is that our cheese bread is an all-day snack. But also the way I've developed the recipe is to solve the problem of convenience with high quality. And because it's gluten-free, it's ideal to be used as a bread substitute. So you can use in this setting with charcuterie and the party, food.
Yeah.
You can give for kids after school, put on a lunchbox, soup, salads, and we promote all of that. So it's one shop for people to go in and get your party organized, or get your lunch, or that day that you don't have anything ready, you can just put some cheese bread, steak and vegetable for the kids, because it's a really healthy source of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And it's also baked from frozen without defrosting in 12 to 14 minutes. So it's very convenient.
Excellent. Look, based on having tried your product, I don't normally like gluten-free products. For somebody who is gluten intolerant, I think that's a perfect snack.
Exactly.
A perfect substitute for bread when they are having a party or picnic or something. So tell me more about your staff. You said it was very tough during COVID period. How many staff do you have or had at that point in time?
At that point in time, I had 3 staff in the factory.
Yeah.
And they were all Brazilians, because I love supporting the Brazilian immigrants like me, who come to a foreign country and not necessarily have the language. And they were highly educated, really intelligent, and, my heart goes out to them, because you give them that first step in a foreign country to get them, move forward. And so I did all the training, because I'm obviously a food engineer specialized with food safety and quality assurance. So I was able to do all my in-house training and really invest in building the skills and knowledge to perform the job at the best capacity, best of their ability, and also build all the knowledge they needed to move forward.
Yeah. So how many hours do you work a week?
That's a hard question. It depends. Sometimes
24/7 like me?
You are 24/7.
Yeah.
Because I call the cheese bread my third child.
Yeah.
So you never switch off completely.
Yeah.
And even when I travel, I'm always actually looking at other products. I try to keep my working, I try to put a balance on my week. Not always happens, but let's say I work from 30 to 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's very important to spend time with my family.
Absolutely.
And the reason I have a business is so I can have flexibility for them. They are fantastic because they love it. And, product development, they are my first tasting team. So after them, then I do lots of focus groups, but nothing goes out without their approval. So,
where do you live in Sydney?
I live in Coogee.
Oh, Coogee. Okay, beautiful area.
As a Brazilian, we need to be close to the water.
Why is that?
Because, I grew up in equivalent to the eastern suburbs in Rio.
Okay, yeah, Rio.
And I grew up on the beach, so it's just a lifestyle and what brings to you, and being able to be healthy, exercise, is part of the life balance that we consider very important. So my kids are surfers, and they come out of the surf and say, "Can you put some cheese bread?" So
your fridge is full of cheese bread at home?
My freezer is full of cheese bread, and we eat cheese bread every single day. Every day I say to myself, I'm not going to eat cheese bread today. And then you smell, and they're so healthy. And I was like, why not? It's 87 calories per ball, so it's not too bad, actually.
How many?
87.
Okay, so you could have 10 of them and it's only 1,000.
She's exactly what I am. Like, I don't have more than 10, and it goes over my, sound good for my 6-pack.
That's not good for my 6-pack. I remember saying that to you myself. First time you gave me, and I said I was working on my 6-pack at the time. And I said, it's not going to impact my 6-pack, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you said, no, it's very low in calorie.
It is. It's good.
But I have to say they're very nourish and very addictive.
Yes. And it's because it all comes down to, it's like cooking, but obviously we're doing a big scale at the factory, but it all comes down to the quality of the ingredients you use.
Yep.
And if you don't have any preservatives, no additives, no modified tapioca, it's just really good for you. It's like, is the difference of, eating at home where you actually do look into how much oil and salt you put, or, getting something on a restaurant.
Yeah. So what are the key ingredients in this cheese bread?
So 6 ingredients on the original. We have 6 ingredients, which is tapioca flour, free-range eggs, canola oil, no GMO, no preservatives in it, then full cream milk, a little bit of salt, Parmesan cheese, Australian Parmesan, freshly grated, and that's it.
Yeah. So 64% of the ingredients are Australian.
64% of ingredients. The only ingredient that we don't have that's not Australian is tapioca flour.
Okay.
Because tapioca is a root, is the same as cassava, and it's a root that's provenient from the tropics.
Yeah.
They're just better quality.
Where does tapioca come from?
Well, in Brazil, our tapioca comes from Thailand or Indonesia.
Okay.
But all the tropical countries have a lot of, all the hot countries have a lot of tapioca in the natural cuisine.
Okay.
Just the case in Brazil, in Africa, Indonesia.
Yep. Do you import directly yourself or you buy from a local distributor?
Now, local distributor.
Okay. And do you look into the sustainability of these farms, how they're grown, and do you check all that before you?
Yes, we do ask for the spreadsheet of the safety data sheet from all suppliers, and ask lots of questions. So one interesting factor, for example, with the canola oil, when I investigated the type of oil that I was going to use in production, I realized, calling recyclability facilities, I realized that the 20-liter drums that a lot of manufacturers use, they're not recyclable.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, what oils can I get in a tank? So there are some suppliers and especially the canola oil in the spring is very good quality because they are natural crops that sit next together. And then they naturally crossed, and that's how the canola was born.
Okay.
And then they obviously reproduce and increase that crop, which is the canola, to produce the canola oil. Yeah. And our canola oil comes in big tanks, which means that it is like a petrol tank.
Yeah.
So we don't have the big drums, which generate a lot of waste in the factory floor. And they also so fresh. By the time that they get to the factory, they are like 2-3 days old, which is, it's really amazing. And if you have a look at the oxidation, if I got a different oil that wouldn't turn over so much, it wouldn't have the same quality because it's naturally, they start oxidizing or they need additives. Yep. And that's the reason this canola oil is so pure. Okay. So I do look animal welfare. So I call my milk supplier to find out, okay, so how do you take care of your cows? The free-range eggs, obviously, it's a obvious choice in our work of sustainability. Yeah. So just to make sure that ethical welfare and animal welfare, all of these boxes are being ticked with our supply chain, and you can have the best producers possible. And
wow!
Time is the same recipe, but added tapioca flour, milk, free-range eggs, salt. Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of salt, a little bit of water. That's it.
I'm really impressed
with garlic and thyme, fresh garlic and dried.
Yeah, I'm really impressed how big emphasis you really put on sustainability and ethical and amount of work you put into to make sure your product is sustainable and ethically Yeah, that's really good.
I'm very passionate about it. And a part of the mission to promote a positive impact to the consumers is promote a very healthy, nourishing, high-quality snack for them that suits lots of different use. So it's versatile, it's convenient, it's easy to prepare. And the second pillar is absolutely sustainability. And I think at the time that we are today, we really need to look at how we can promote a positive impact and minimize environmental impact. And the factory is a massive, could generate, if you think about a household actually, even a factory could generate a lot of waste. But even to think about a household, if, food waste, it's one of the biggest problems in terms of carbon emission. The waste that you generate at home is just incredible. So if you've got a bag inside, it's plastic-free, so you minimize the use of single-use plastics. A small packaging, you generate less waste, and the cheese bread you eat also, there's no food waste.
That's really good. So what's your vision for the brand? Where do you want to take it? Like, how far do you...
my vision, I want to be the best snack in Australia. I want to change habits in the way people eat. I want people to eat well. And understand that sometimes it's better to have a little bit less quantity, but something that's really good and will actually result in a really good outcome for them. Obviously, we want to go nationally. We are, as we speak, we are actually working towards launching our product in Queensland and Victoria and WA. We are currently in New South Wales and ACT. And I do want to conquer the world.
Conquer the world with the cheese bread. That's great. Yeah. So how many stores are your products available, and are they available online as well for customers to order, or mainly in brick and mortar?
You can order online via QE.
Yes.
So all the shops, QE shops, of course. We do have 110 shops where you can find our product in the freezer. Online, there are some, like you need to go to our website on christianaco.com.au to find out where you can get, and our delivery partners are online. We enter recently Singapore, which is really interesting, and we made the Brazilian community there extra excited with the quality of our cheese bread, because our cheese bread is really unique. If you compare our cheese bread to other brands existing in the market, we are the only one with premium high-quality ingredients. We are the only one with a really small cooking time of 12 to 14 minutes compared to 35 minutes of competitors. And very passionately, as you know, we are the only one with plastic-free packaging, compact, fully recyclable. So overall, we do work after, we care for our customers and we care about the environment.
That's really, really good. And you want to conquer the world to make sure that everybody have access. So this cheese ball, cheese bread is a very authentic recipe, comes originally from Brazil. Like, is that the type of cheese bread you would find in Brazil everywhere?
Well, our cheese bread actually, I did use the basics of the traditional recipe coming from Minas Gerais, which is where the region in Brazil where the cheese bread comes from. But I did the intense market research about like almost 2 years, making cheese bread and giving cheese bread away to understand exactly what is the Australian palate and what would be best suitable for the Australian palate. And it turns out that the Brazilians are our best advocates because they understand the product so well. When they try, they are like, oh my God, this cheese bread is the best cheese bread I ever had, even for Brazilian standards.
Wow.
But we develop our own IP in order to make something that would be very suitable and adaptable for the Australian palate. So our cheese bread is a little bit denser if you want one.
Well, I've got to worry about my six-pack, remember?
So you see that's quite dense. So you can actually, it's beautiful. You can use it as a bread substitute. The Brazilian cheese bread in Brazil would be slightly empty inside and not necessarily as dense. It would be sometimes lighter. It depends. The gourmet ones dense like mine, The best restaurants, they will always be like similar to mine. But, I recently went to Brazil and I've tried 15 brands with my children. And kids are great because they don't mind. And we did agree that my cheese bread is, if not better, is I think the top range of cheese bread. You see.
That is very, very nice.
Yeah.
I could eat all of them now. But I do have to worry about my six-pack.
Exactly.
All right. So you're in 110 stores nationally, and you're looking to New South Wales and Canberra, Singapore. So you're already a global business.
Well, begin. We're trying.
Yep. Well, your products are all available in our stores, and I'm sure our customers enjoy it. Thank you very much, Christiana, for your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And sharing all that wonderful stuff with our customers and with me.